it's not the most exciting country I've ever been to. And I think that's okay. Good morning, it is day 4 and I am in Samarkand in Uzbekistan. So yesterday we took a flight from Tashkent to Samarkand. I guess the way that I'd describe this city so far is it's a greener, more spaced out version of Tashkent. So in terms of the plan for today, I'll be heading to Sayeb Bazaar, which is just another shopping bazaar, but this time in Samarkand instead of Tashkent, and also checking out some of the sites that this city has to offer. So we are now at the local bazaar. It's split into 2 distinct sections. There's the local side, which has things like fruit and vegetables, bread, goods, kind of basic necessities. And then there's the clearly touristic side, which is filled up with sweets and pottery, different types of souvenirs that you might want to take home. If I'm honest, my initial impression of this place is that it feels massively touristic on one side. You know, you walk through and it feels like something that's been set up for many, many years now and caters predominantly to a tourist crowd. It makes it feel a little bit inauthentic, to be honest. So we're now in the more touristic side of the market, which is where you're going to get all of your pottery items, souvenirs, fruits, that kind of stuff, for things that you would take home with you. Now, a lot of this side of the market is shut today, I assume because of Eid, which makes it a bit of a dead experience, to be honest. And the far more interesting side is that local side that we went to previously. So you can see as we walk down this road that the entire market right now is shut. It's a Wednesday, so you'd expect it to be pretty busy, but clearly because of Eid holidays, nobody showed up today. If I'm honest, it's probably not a bad thing, because I suspect every single one of these stalls is going to be selling pretty much the exact same thing in the form of fruits, nuts, potentially some pottery. It's really, really quiet because of that holiday today. So I think reflecting on Samarkand as a place, I go back to my earlier thoughts that, you know, it does feel a little bit inauthentic, and there's no doubt that the restorations have been done really, really well, but that takes away from the authenticity, and it all just feels a bit too easy. Like, even this has been developed in a way that feels like a tourist strip as opposed to a historical site. I think in a sense though, if you've not travelled to tens and tens of countries, then there's no doubt that these sites are phenomenal. I'm not going to take that away from the place. In terms of a simple place to travel, Uzbekistan ticks all the boxes. It's got great trains. It's quite easy to move around from city to city. There's good technology and so on in place for taxi apps. It's just not the most exciting place in the world.
And yet, despite my initial observations, Samarkand's heritage area was undeniably beautiful. The buildings had been impeccably restored whilst basking in the sunlight. And, as with Tashkent, the people were wonderful and the food was great. And that's why I then reflected.
So I've been in Samarkand now for around 24 hours, and I think if I was to describe this place, it's It's beautiful, it's refined, it's clean, incredibly green. In many ways, it's a great city, but it's also a bit boring. The buildings here feel inauthentic. They've all been heavily revitalized, and that's great in many ways, but it also just makes it a little bit of a less interesting place to be visiting, in my opinion. And I think in a sense, that's how I describe my experience of Uzbekistan so far. It's an easy country to travel around. The high-speed trains, the taxis, people are friendly, it's all great, but it's also just a bit calm. It's not the most exciting country I've ever been to. And I think that's okay.
After this short visit to Samarkand, I decided I'd seen what I wanted to and it was time to move on. And it was in my next destination, Bukhara, where my views of the tourism sites in Uzbekistan totally changed. More on that next time.